Hello, my name is Todd Gooch. I'm the author of the Gravitational Unit Theory, and I declare war on the Standard Model, which is extremely precious to the people that actually use it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to show you why I'm declaring war on the Standard Model. Let's start with benzene. I know you guys have seen me draw benzene most likely before, but I'm going to do it again for you. We're going to do it the way the Standard Model does it first. So let's go ahead and use the Standard Model Lewis structures to draw this structure of benzene. So we'll get the carbons in there, roughly hexagonal shape. Then we'll alternate the single and double bonds around it. Put in the hydrogens for good measure. And originally, this was how benzene was thought of to be bonding until they broke the bonds on it and found out that they were equal energies. What they do is they hybridize these two structures. So let me go ahead and do that for you. Okay. And we'll alternate the double and single bonds in a different fashion, opposite fashion, such as the single and double bonds are on different carbon-to-carbon bonds. And here's what it looks like. That's the hybridization of benzene. They then went on to develop this, because they found out that there were equal energies on each of the bonds. So they couldn't draw it with Lewis structures, and then they used this structure here. Let me tell you, when you have to draw two structures for something that has only one single structure, and you cannot use the normal nomenclature of the single and double bonds to represent that, you have an anomaly. And what an anomaly means is that your model is wrong. It's not allowed to be. It's just like Einstein said, you cannot have a single anomaly. So here's an anomaly. They had to come up with hybridization and molecular orbital theory in order to deal with this. This is an anomaly. These structures are completely incorrect and wrong. Let's go on to draw benzene correctly for the first time. So we get the normal structure that we had before, the hexagonal structure of the benzene. That's how we start. Then what we do is with Gooch structures, you use vector bonding, and you're able to get a 1.5 bond here. So you can use the same, here, let me focus this a little bit better. You can use the same structures without having to invoke another theory. It has no anomalies is really what we're talking about here. That camera just won't focus right. Yeah, hold on a minute. Let's see what I can do for this. I'm going to continue to draw. Let me see if I can't get this thing to focus somehow. There it is. And we continue to draw the bonds, the 1.5 bonds, where we only have to use one structure to draw benzene instead of two. And my theory has no anomalies, while the Standard Model theory does have an anomaly here for drawing benzene. I'm going to go ahead and put the hydrogens in too, because there's some stuff I want to talk about concerning the hydrogens. Hydrogen doesn't bond the same way that the Standard Model has it bonding. the standard model would say that hydrogen has a single bonding electron, and the Kekulé structure, say for this part of this molecule, would be something like this. There'd be electron dot diagram, and the hydrogen would have a single bonding electron, such as the Bohr model of the atom, and then it's going to bond with the carbon. This is great for carbon, but in the cycloboranes, hydrogen is shown to bond to 2 boron atoms, and my theory has always shown it with 2 bonding sites on it, which again supports the data, while standard model Lewis structures do not reflect the data properly. Go ahead and finish out the molecule for you. And this is big reason why I'm declaring war on the standard model is that it just can't get it right. Here is what benzene really looks like. These are vector bonds showing the electronic flow through the atom and molecule, and it uses a 1.5 bond as opposed to the single or double bonds in order to give you the equal energies on each of the carbon-to-carbon bonds. And you're just not seeing this in the standard model. Standard model has an anomaly. Anomaly means it's incorrect. These structures are wrong, and you should not be using them. You should use my Gooch structures. It took me 22 years to get them right. This is Gooch structures compilation artwork B that you're seeing here. It went through many phases before this, and there's even an advanced phase after it, but it gets the molecule correct. Now let's talk about some other anomalies of the standard model. Let's talk about light. This is a photon of violet light. This is the geometry of the photon. Now hold on a minute. Let me go ahead and open up my book here a little bit. Basically, my books have all the information you would need in it about the atoms and the photons of light. And this is on poor paper, but here's a photon of red light, orange light. That's photon, orange photon, yellow photon, green photon, blue photon. These are photonic densities that are actually causing the colors of the rainbow. Here's the indigo photon, and here's the violet photon. I'm the first person to represent these properly, or to ever represent them for that matter. And you can only find them in my books that I have out right now. I have Gravitational Unit Theory, Unified Field Theory, and it has an awful lot of this data in it. But I'm going to go on to talk about an anomaly that's not even in my book. We're going to talk about the split screen experiment here for a second, and the double split screen experiment, and exactly what the deal is with that. I'm going to use my theory to explain the results of the double split screen experiment here for you real quick. So if we made a single slit and the light was coming in this way here, we're basically, you had a wall back here, you're going to get something that looks like a line here on the wall. Now, it doesn't exactly look like a line, but it's close. It still spreads out a little bit. People don't really, they don't acknowledge that because they want to show that light's behaving like a particle, when in reality, it's just really more of a concentration in a wave, especially your coherent light. So this line that's back here isn't really a line. It actually has a little bit of a width to it. And if you add a second slit, and your light's basically coming in this way, what you get is a diffraction pattern on the back. And this is supposed to show that light moves both as a particle and a wave, but again, it's not showing the particle that much here, really. So most of the time what you're seeing is wave-like phenomenon. Matter of fact, all the time you're basically seeing that. Optics is explained a little bit differently. But let's talk about the double split screen, because this is really what I'm going to be explaining. So here's the split screen, and the light comes through this way. And then on the back wall, you're going to get your diffraction pattern on the back wall. And then they put another split screen back here. Okay, except these apertures here were supposed to be exactly the width of one photon. And what's going to happen back here on the wall, what's expected to happen back here, is that you're going to get a line here and here because it can only let one photon at a time through this aperture and hit this back wall. And what everybody wants to know is why it's not doing that. Why does it again give the diffraction pattern when only a single photon could get through here to actually make the diffraction pattern back there? It should have made a line. And my theory explains this poignantly, and that is this: you've got the wrong model. Your model's wrong. You have an anomaly. You should have lines here, but you've got a diffraction pattern. This is why I'm declaring war on the standard model. You can't get it right. The reason why you don't get a line here is because the width of the photon that you think is this width is not this width. My theory says it goes basically all the way down to the Planck length or very close to it, and you'll never be able to get the hole small enough to make the line that you're trying to do over here, because this thing probably goes down all the way to the Planck length, and it looks just like the photos that I just showed you. So if you're interested in this double split screen experiment that's not giving the data that the standard model says it ought to, you should come over to my side because it's obviously got an anomaly and your whole model about light is incorrect. Let's go on again. As I said, anytime you see an anomaly, it means wrong. The theory's wrong. Let's draw nitromethane. Nitromethane. Here's Lewis structures for nitromethane. Okay, here's a carbon. Here's the hydrogens. Here's a hydrogen, a nitrogen, goes to an oxygen, double bond to an oxygen. Supposed to be hybridized now. Hybridized. With this structure. And the only thing I can say about hybridization is the same thing I said before when I drew benzene, is that you have an anomaly. And every time you have an anomaly, it means that this is supposed to be what the hybridization is. Let me try and get this focused in. And every time you have an anomaly, it means your theory is wrong. Einstein, again, said you can't have a single anomaly. And I've found, at least this is my third anomaly I found in the standard model, and I'm able to correct. So let's go ahead and use Gooch structures, compilation artwork B, in order to actually draw this molecule correctly. Here we go. Notice the two bonding sites on each of the hydrogens supported by the data in the cycloboranes. And we come over here and put the the nitrogen in, and then we connect it to the oxygens, except in this case, what we've got here is a structure like this, which uses a 1.5 bond in order to equalize the energies on the two oxygens, and then the oxygens rest of their, which you put in every one, the rest of their bonding, non-bonding electrons. If you would like to actually use this type of terminology, this is what the actual structure looked like. You don't need to use hybridization or two structures because that's incorrect. This is why I'm declaring war on the standard model, is because there's so many anomalies in it. It's like Swiss cheese. I can push holes through it all day long. Here's the solution, is to use these structures that I've come up with over the past 20 years. You can find them in my book, Gravitational Unit Theory, Unified Field Theory. You can also find these structures in my other booklet that I've got out. It's How to Draw Molecules Without Molecular Orbital Theory or Hybridization. And I just, fix all sorts of things. Like I said, I'm the only person in the world that can draw B10H16, which is a little too complicated for me to sit right here and do. But all my hydrogens bond to all the borons. I'm the foremost mind on this subject on the Earth. And I certainly recommend that you think very seriously about getting a copy of my book or books if you want to do this correct type of bonding and do your chemistry correctly, because all I'm seeing out there is mistake after mistake after mistake. Good day. My name is Todd Gooch, and I'm the author of the Gravitational Unit Theory Unified Field Theory.